Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another video. Today I wanted to cover the teaser that we got for That 90s Show, the season 2 teaser that we got here just the other day after, it was about a year or some change since we saw the last season, and they finally got us a teaser. And with this teaser and with the announcement of the second season, or what they're calling the part 2, they're going to divvy it up into part 2 and part 3, getting part 2 this summer and then getting the other part of it towards the end of the year, which is strange. And it seems like that is the trend that Netflix is kind of going with their shows, kind of going here out, where we got the announcement of Cobra Kai, where they're going to have 3 parts and it's going to be 15 episodes. This is kind of upping from the original 10 that was originally announced, but they're going to have the part 1 be in July, and then part 2 in November, and then sometime next year we're going to get part 3 of that. So this seems to be the new thing that Netflix is going to do with their content from here on out, possibly. And I don't know how I feel about that, but either way, it's fun to get back and see these characters again. Even though that 90s show really got kind of mixed reviews there's a lot of people that didn't enjoy it. They didn't enjoy the new cast of kids. And just going back, it felt strange, especially with all of the drama and everything surrounding the Danny Masterson stuff. And just a lot of people had their complaints and whatnot. But I personally enjoyed this show. I enjoyed going back, being in Kitty and Red's house again, being in this world, meeting these new kids, and kind of just seeing this familiarity with this particular world that we hadn't seen, obviously, since the original show ended back in 2006, which is ridiculous. That is almost 20 years ago. But, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And seeing that we had the cameos from our other characters. We had Donna and Eric come in. We had Kelso and Jackie come in. Fez played a big part in the season, being that he was dating the mother of 2 of the kids that's now lived in Donna's old house. And then we also had Bob come back. We had Leo come back. So we had a lot of, classic characters from that show come back and pay a visit. Obviously, Danny Masterson, he was not going to take part in it. He did not get asked to come back, just judging from everything that was going on in his life and his current situation. But this season, I think it has been confirmed, it's what I've heard anyways, that Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis will not come back for obvious reasons. They had a big drama blowout kind of, and they're just kind of on people's list now where they were not invited back, or they just didn't want to come back to portray the parts of Kelso and Jackie. And so with that too, I did see, because I have watched this trailer at least once now, where we do get some familiar faces come back, and we do have some new ones. So I wanted to jump into the trailer, kind of talk about it, talk about the show in general, and what we could possibly see in this next season, being that it's going to be broken down into a couple different parts. But with that said, let's jump into this teaser.
When is Leia getting here? And don't even think about it.
And I like that starts out with Lit, My Own Worst Enemy, big song from that time period.
Oh, let's get real. Grandma gets first hug.
Look who got the first hug. Please tell me.
Got Bob coming back, Donna, Seth Green.
Hey, Foot, want to go on a little trip? Sure, Red. I just hope it's up someone's ass. Oh, it is.
So as I mentioned, we're getting the first part next month, and then we'll get the second part later this year in October. So like I said, this seems to be the thing that Netflix is going with some of their stuff that's coming out this year and next year. They're kind of divvying it up into multiple parts. And with that, like I mentioned before, we're getting Cobra Kai in different parts, and then we're supposed to possibly, there's talk of it anyways, that Stranger Things, the final season, is going to be divvied up into at least a couple different parts. Because this is something that they did do, I want to say, with season 4. So it would not be out of the ordinary if they chose to go that route. And with this teaser too, it's, like I said, it's fun to go back to this world, especially in this decade. I grew up in this decade. This was a great time to be alive. The internet was in its infancy. just things were so much different than they are now. The world that my kids are growing up in, where you can't get by without a gadget in your hand, and just the way kids navigate the world today, it's completely different than it was back then. It's definitely a time that I miss too, just how everything was, how simple life was back in the 90s. And it makes me sick to even say back in the 90s, because, you know, when you're a 90s kid and you grew up in that time, you always think, oh, that was 10 years ago. No, that's almost 25 years ago now, and that's just ridiculous to say itself. But with the teaser that we got, like I mentioned, we got a lot of familiar faces. We got Bob coming back. We got Donna. We got Seth Green coming back, playing that quirky little character that he had, I want to say, from season 6 of 70s show. I think his name was Mitch. And coming back and seeing where he has gone in his life. And then we also had a slew of new faces too. We had Carmen Electra. We had Jay and Silent Bob. You know, that was kind of the launching point, especially about 95, which I'm pretty sure this is about where that takes place, 95, 96, somewhere around there, where that's where we first met Jay and Silent Bob. They came out in the movie Clerks. And then, you know, we have a few other faces sprinkled in there. I'm not real sure on names. One of them I did recognize. I can't remember his name. Will something. He was in another show that I really enjoyed that only lasted a few seasons, Last Man on Earth. And so it's, you know, to me, it looks like it's going to be fun. We had Jay Kelso and Jackie's son, who's come back. He's been dating Leia, who is Eric and Donna's daughter. And he even kind of has that classic Kelso look now. He's got that long hair. He looks a lot like his dad did in those first 4 or 5, even maybe 6 seasons of 70s show. And then there's some drama. If you're not caught up, or if you didn't watch the first season, there was some drama there at the end of the last season where we had the boyfriend of one of the other people in the group kiss Leia. Like, they had a moment there. And so I don't know if they're going to revisit that or what's going to come of that. But all in all, it looks like it's going to be another fun season. I know a lot of people didn't care for the show, and it's hard to recreate that magic that we get from the original show. But it's still fun to go back to this, being in this world again, like I've said many times now, and seeing where Red and Kitty are in their journey, and just getting that old familiar foot and ass reference, and just it brings a smile to your face. You know, I always enjoyed Red. I always told myself that's the kind of dad I would be, and I think I'm well on my way to being that way. But anyways, it was a fun little trailer, and I can't wait for it. I'm excited to see where they take the story, if they can continue to capture some of that magic. And as far as our guest stars, like I mentioned, in this particular trailer, we did get Donna, and we did get Bob, and we got Seth Green and a few others, but one that is noticeably missing is Topher Grace, who played Eric. I don't know if he's going to be in this next season. I have not heard anything. I've not heard anything from him. I've not seen any articles about it or anything like that. I don't think there's a ton of info as far as who is supposed to be appearing. I just remember reading something where Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis were not going to come back, just from everything that's going on in their lives right now. They're kind of laying low. But anyways, it's exciting. I'm ready to see this show and just where they take it. What's other references or other callbacks they can have in this show. But anyways, if you enjoyed my reaction and my yammering about the show, please leave your comments, leave your likes, and of course subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. So until next time, guys, take care. Bye.